Yes, of course. Technology again, updates, every kind of stuff. I don't know. Let's pray for the best that this computer will hang in there. I got the other one right here with me because it will start doing what it's doing and talking to me with my own voice coming back at me. How are you doing? It's AfroEconomics live time. And I was trying my best behind this screen to be cool for you, not throw any computers across the room. I was like, I got to get to you. We are 3 minutes. 3 minutes behind the hour. It is 8 p.m. Thank you, and I thank God for you. We're talking about the 2022 investor. Yes, I love it. How are you, New Black World Order? It is so good to see you. Thank you. Hold me up. Yes. Keep me going. We need each other. I know I need you. I need to know that you appreciate the knowledge that I want to share. I feel that the more that we share, the more generous that we can be with each other, with what we are put here to do, the better the whole world will be. So, whatever you got, whatever you know, please be generous with it. Please. Yes, 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 you are indeed. How are you doing, Mr. Jones? What happened? What's going on? Why you out there? You supposed to be in here with me. What y'all doing? That no excuse. I know. Don't even tell me that that the link wasn't working or something like that. I know. I hope that's what it was. So when I put this link here, that this will do it. Me and I don't want to put their name out there, but me and Restream have been like having mm, that a good time. Yeah, try that link right there. It's good to see you, Mr. Jones. Miss Fleming, you should come on in the studio too. Y'all make Mr. Jones work hard. He gonna be trying to send me an invoice. Yes, yes, indeed, Mr. Robinson. You should come in sometime too. Yes, indeed. All of the members. That's why I put it out there. Queen Howard, you should do the same. Help me. Help me. Help the world. Yes. The members should use the link and help so that Mr. Jones doesn't feel worn out. But I'm telling you, when he goes out places, women fall all over him. They go, "Oh my God, are you that man that's up there with JB Bryan? Oh my God." They fall, I mean, beautiful women fall at his feet. y'all would want y'all would want to come and help Mr. Jones if you are a single man who wants to be rich. These are rich, beautiful women that just go crazy for Mr. Jones. You know, I don't even know how you have the time to share your Wednesday with me. I guess you have to like beat them off. Look, ladies, I have to help JB tonight. Oh my goodness, and my echo is bad. It's just bad. It's just they just be getting me. Hopefully, when you came in, did it get better? Did it calm down, or is it still echoing? It's still doing that. It's still doing that.
You, you have
Oh,
echo
let me see. I'm gonna
and it's
try it.
repeating. It's repeating.
I'm gonna try that. Is that a little better? I told you, like me and oh, look at that. Does that still do it? About that, I can't hear you at all now. But hopefully that does it a little bit better. I switched the audio output, but
I turned off my mic. I turned off my
is
mic.
that a little better?
That's a little better, yes.
The because what happened was on Sunday, Restream went crazy, and it was up for like 3 hours. I was in the gym, finished my whole workout, lifting part, got on the cardio machine, and I looked and I was still live, just nobody standing there. I was like, oh my goodness. And Mr. Jefferson was like, do you know it stayed live? I was like, imagine like somebody had like come by here or something. That would have been a mess, Mr. Jenkins. But fortunately, this is like, a private area. It was like, it was just streaming because this system went down, supposedly. And I switched over to this computer. And then I turned off this computer, but it just kept on. I don't know. That camera just kept going. So that's like a lot of times my clients go like when they are not on, they go like this, like they go like they cover their camera. Now I know why, because you really don't know when your camera. So that's where the audio, like the whole system. I'm lucky the camera came back on. The whole system was like all off, but Sunday was great. And if you pray really hard, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And if you pray really hard, Mr. Jones, you could get up on Sunday mornings too. But you just gotta try. Just gotta, put your fans in their place. But I don't know, like the echo. I'm not supposed to echo. I'm not supposed to echo. I'm not supposed to sound bad. So that's a restream. That's a that's a problem. That's a settings problem. Because the only person like that should sound bad is them. Is that I did it now. I did it now, didn't I? That's better. I did that. It's better. Is that better? That's not better. You gonna have to be faster on your reply. Well, I can't see you when I'm in the settings. That's why.
When you say something, when you, I'm waiting for the feedback. See,
Okay. What about that? What about that?
that sounds good.
That
That's
sounds good.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's
And
try.
then now it's back. It's back. It's like repeating. It's repeating.
But I wonder if it's just you or if it's everybody, because nobody else is saying anything. I need you all to say something like, yeah, Mr. Jones is right. You sound horrible. Because it could just be him in the studio, that he's hearing it in the studio because he's in the studio. The So I'm going back into audio and I'm switching. Oh, it must be me hearing myself, like you hearing me repeatedly. Um, the uh, I don't know. There's no other option. Speaker output, speaker headphone communication, audio on the. That's not it. See, it totally reset all the settings. What about that? What about that? What about that? Say no, because I can't see you. Say yes. Say, is this better? Oh, Cheryl is saying it sounds okay to them. I was afraid of that. You My mic is muted and I still hear it. Okay. So well, it sounds okay to them, Mr. Jones. I know. I don't know. Brother can't get a break. But I'm just going to tell you, I love you unconditionally. So thank you, because you have great intention and you are always patient with me. I am patient with you. And if we only have me and you left on the earth, we're going to look out for each other. So it's all right. It's all right. We just got to figure this thing out. So deal. But I pray y'all, everybody, that I get this, that it gets right. But it took out all the settings, Mr. Jones. I'm sorry. I hope I don't echo in your head all night. And I don't know why it would torture the studio that way. It Dr. Phil said something one time, and I thought it was really sad. But he said, "No good deed goes unpunished." That's so sad. So maybe this is your punishment for being good. You gotta hear me echo all night. You gotta stick it out like a champ, like a Marine. The I'm still loving sticking to Marines, but it was actually a Navy movie. But that movie Devotion is amazing. I'm gonna pull up my notes because we're talking about a lot of statistics. Because remember, I'm on my statistics mode because I'm in my quantitative analysis class, and y'all are going with me. You know, the family that studies together grows together. It can't be that bad. It's can't, the so we're gonna go. We're going to like. I want to talk about these numbers that came out about the what we've been doing through 2022 and how we have been responding to the economic changes and um, our how we've responded through our personal finance decisions. Let me say. So the let's look at this poll. This specific poll has was done by Momentive, and I was sharing today that I want to do the that oh how you doing, Kanika? Today that I want to do more and more polls with us. Look, Mr. How you doing, Miss Davis? Mr. Jones, you came in. She came in right as Mr. Jones was leaving, so she doesn't know anything about that I tortured him. The that this poll was done, and it motivated me again because I was like, I really want to keep more information on what our thoughts are and what we're going through and what changes that we have. Like, because one thing I really think about a lot, Kanika, is like how has our income, changed over the years. 5 years ago, where was your income? And statistically, most people aren't making more, especially if you adjust it for inflation, more money than they were 5 years ago. But I just want to, just ask like some key things about it. Like when I send out our invitations and stuff, we should start like just gathering information because a lot of the numbers that we get aren't relevant to us, or they don't really tell us enough about our specific community. They're just about America overall. And I would like to know more about our numbers. Just like there were numbers that came out that said that the number of hardship withdrawals are at a record high. And that means that people going through financial crisis have the reached, I mean, we can assume that's what we're assuming from that number, that the number of people that are going through financial crisis or needing that are not making enough money to make ends meet is at a record high. And I want to know, like, are we going through that? Good evening, right back at you, Miss Bussy. Do you feel that or have you had to use your savings if you feel like sharing, like when you look at those hardship withdrawal numbers, have you just like thought about it that I might have to go into this, or if this doesn't get better I might have to use this, or what have you um what has this year felt like specifically to you? So as we go through this, discussion, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that we're talking about during an interview that I have on CBS on Monday. So I'll send out the information to you on WTVR in Virginia. I will send that information out to you. Well, I want to show you just to get us warmed up, and then look, look, wonder if he's gonna come back. I see you, Miss Davis. I'm gonna pull this graphic up, Miss Davis. I'm gonna see if you can see it, because I did not want to hear you say I'm echoing. Mr. Jones said I was echoing. You go outside and find Mr. Jones and tell him to come back in with you. Wouldn't it be nice if y'all were really just standing outside? So what what did you say? Let me see what you said, Kanika. The basis of this economy is killing us all. It is most noticeable in our community. The model will not sustain itself. The Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Good evening. Good evening, right back at you, Mr. Newell. Under any circumstances, without a strong rebuke towards the way things currently are. Like, yeah, I think that, I don't know though, we need more feedback, Kanika. Like, that's the way I see it. Like, I saw a young lady today, and she was talking about like a friend of hers stole money out of her account, and that she didn't want to call the police on them, but she was asking her other friends if they would put money in her cash app to help her so that she wouldn't have to call the police on this other person that took money from her. And, and the truth of the matter is, even if she gets the police involved, it's not going to help her right now with her immediate needs of trying to make ends meet. And then, so, but I've never heard that before. I've never heard that, like someone like coming on social media, like, and asking, for money. And unfortunately, I think that there might be, more of that. But I anticipated it because of so much going on when the money was flowing so freely and they were just giving out the money. I feel that, and that was why we continued, and I did more workshops than ever during that time, encouraging us to save, to not do what was going on. Don't buy into taking these trips. Don't buy into, living beyond your means, getting things that you're not going to be able to afford over the long term, and take advantage of this opportunity to switch to another job because they need you out here. And unfortunately, a lot of people stayed. Yes, Kanika. They did not listen. And they stayed right where they were. So they're not making enough money. A lot of them Or yeah, it is. It's online begging. Yeah, like and the Cash App started it. Yeah, the and in the I think that I think that it's okay. I think it's okay. I'm not even bothered by people begging on the street. Like nothing like that bothers me. Like that just doesn't bother me. If that's where they are and that's where they are, if I feel moved or I have it and I feel moved that God says that person gets it, then I pull out my pocket and I give it to that person if I have it or I feel compelled, but it doesn't, what I mean? It doesn't bother me. It's amazing to me that it like really bothers some people. Like, I don't know. I like, why. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying, I guess. I give when I'm supposed to. Yeah, but there's, you know, we have to, like just realize that we have to start becoming more proactive. Proactive. Proactive meaning you prepare for something that you know is inevitable. We know change is gonna come. So it's when we're on top, it's when we prepare. Like you, you can't, you can't save for retirement when you're not working. That's being proactive. Miss Davis is working and she's saving. That's what you do. That's what you do when you do it. I mean, we could all have the philosophy that I don't have to build anything, I don't have to accumulate anything because I'm going to be good forever and I can just work and accumulate forever. I mean, or I could just get that is true. It does work out. It does work out for some people. But for most likely or the overwhelming majority or statistically, people get tired of answering the people. They get tired of going in, you know. They just get, they just don't want to go in there. So you might not feel like that. You do it, you prepare for that day during the days where you feel like going in. That's the days that you do it. You do it when the days that you can do it. So in the days when I cannot do it, I won't have to worry about it. That's all. That's all you got to do. Is just prepare. Just prepare. Do what you can do when you can do it, and then you don't have to worry about the day that you can't do it because you saved, you preserved, you protected. I was thinking this morning about who I am and what I am. I am what I am because of what I did when I was a little kid. We're not what we are because of what we're doing today. We're just not. We are what we are because of what we did when we weren't what we are today. Put that on a t-shirt, you know, because you can't. You can't prepare for today. Today. And that's what we need to make sure that we're communicating to young people that everything they see in you, they can't have because they didn't do anything to get it. You just can't. We have to do our best until we can. And what we've done, yes, will take care of us. Yes, yes, yes. God willing. Amen. Let me show you this. So on this graph, the you're seeing where we're like the light blue is last year, the dark blue is this year, and the little part where on the bottom, that first run, that's really high, where that dark blue is really high, that's inflation. It says inflation fear topples COVID. So, this was COVID and this light blue last year. It was the biggest concern. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't. I don't know how let me go to that page. Let me go to that page. I think if I go like this, then you can see that. I think you can see my mouse because I'm touching it here. I can't see both, but I think that you can see it now. So this is COVID last year, and then this is COVID this year, and then this is COVID last year, this is COVID this year in the dark blue to the right. And look how COVID concerns have gone down dramatically. And then this is inflation, which like, what is the fear? What is the biggest fear for the next 12 months? That's what the question was. What do you think is the biggest fear to your personal finances over the next 12 months? And this dark is November 2022. And the respondents said that inflation is the biggest fear for the next 12 months. That's the way they see it. The increase in the cost of things. Oh, yeah. Why are people taking the hardship withdrawals? Most likely because the cost of things, right, Mr. Jefferson, has gone up so dramatically, and that's why the fear factor has gotten so high. 40% said that's my problem. Where last year the biggest number was coming with people worried about COVID-19 impacting their finances. I guess like not being able to go to work. And last year that was followed by inflation. So inflation was on the move last year too. But look how the fear of inflation has doubled. The loss or decrease in income this year, that fear has gone down a little bit. Let's see which one. Higher interest rate fear has gone up. People are like still getting COVID. Isn't that something? Like inflation is not growing as fast according to the numbers. But as I was saying, like that, as I study um the the numbers more, as I study this whole like quantitative analysis and data more and more, the line numbers don't lie is a lie. It's a lie. Because numbers can lie. Numbers can lie, and the stats can lie, and the stats can say what you want your stats to say. So it just depends on what you're buying. So when they say inflation has slowed down, they're talking about everything brought together, and something that is bringing down that number might not be anything that you're buying anyway. So your cost, your inflation, your personal inflation could still be going up. You know, that's what I love about working on an individual level, because there's no like there, you know, there's everything is individual. And we do such a poor job of making sure that we take care of ourselves individually. So the numbers might be telling the truth about the average or the mean people person. Like, like if you have this group and they say, what is the mean or average age of this group? And they say 45. And then you say, well, numbers don't lie. Everybody in that group is 45. And then you meet the group, and there's an 80-year-old in the group, and there's a 20-year-old in the group, and there's a 50-year-old in the group, and there's a 60-year-old in the group, and there's a 10-year-old in the group. Like, you are looking at averages. So, no, it didn't lie to you about the average, but it did not tell you specifically what you need, what is applicable to you. And so you go, well, it's 45, so they don't know nothing about my life. I'm 80, that's not true. It addresses the need of the 80-year-old, but you only got the average age of the group. So you have to look inside the numbers, the information, and most importantly, look at yourself. No, do you think of yourself as average, or do you think of yourself as like above average? What do you think? You know, I mean, Mr. Johnson, you are an above average spinner. Mr. Johnson put and video. I mean, seriously, Ms. Davis. Mr. Johnson has this video and he is like floating around. He is above average. I have never seen anybody float around on a stage in such fashion in my life. Really, I haven't. He's above average. He had to be better than the average spinner. And and Miss Davis, Miss Davis, I gotta break it to you, but you are below
Okay.
you're below average on using the microphone in the workshops. I mean, really, you're below average because, like, some, you know, more likely than not, which you didn't today, but usually you come in and you're blasting. You're like
I'm
loud.
inside. I'm at the job tonight.
Oh, you're being cool. Oh, okay, I love it. I love it. And see, you're
Yeah.
blasting.
Yeah.
You're below average. I was joking, but you're above average in your looks. You are a beautiful woman, girl. You got that. So it just depends.
Well, thank you.
Just because you're below average on the microphone doesn't keep you there, right? It doesn't keep you there. Don't compartmentalize her. She's got something she's good at. And that's what we have to be careful with the numbers, because sometimes, like, we'll look at the numbers and we'll say, oh, I'm not performing as well as the average, person, this and that, but you don't know what's behind the numbers, because that person may have inherited, they might have robbed a bank, they may they may have done anything like that you don't know. So it's really hard to, like, it's a bad habit to compare yourself to anyone except your other self. So look at how you improved on the microphone just like that, just from being at work. Amazing. So it's a good thing you didn't compare yourself to anyone else, because improvement. But so when we look at the numbers, like, oh, the average person has saved at least this much, or the average, person this and that, I was shocked in these numbers that they found that the average person, that out of all of the people that they surveyed, that only 7%, and and I guess we're supposed to use this as representing the average American, 7% actually had $1 million or more saved for retirement. Where we're kind of like misled to feel like we think everybody. Don't you think that, Miss Davis? Like, they kind of make you feel like everybody has at least $1 million. Like, and then if you don't, you feel like, well, maybe I'm not ready.
You can be made to feel that way or be made to think that way, but realistically, I don't know that I really kind of can really buy into that. I mean, who's taking this survey and this poll, and who are the people they're targeting? And there are other people out here maybe that have money or don't have money that may not be captured inside of these numbers, just as you were saying.
And they said only 7%. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But I've always said that Afroeconomics is a statistical anomaly. Like, because we're pulling out, like, even if I did a survey and I asked, like, all of the members questions, like the numbers would be misleading if someone said the black investor this, the black investor that. Like, you all are the statistical anomalies because we focus on this stuff all the time. That's very rare. People of any color don't do what we do. We meet 2 or 3 times a week, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then we do, our individual meetings, and then we do risk analysis, and then we set up the allocation, like that is rare. And then I have this group of people that are actually willing to do that. That is rare. So if I said, what's your credit score? Is it over 700? And then we have 80% of the group says yes. And then we go, well, 80% of black people have 700 credit score. Like, that might be misleading because I'm talking about a group of people that happen to be black that focus on having great credit and being great spenders. And we can spend, because Mr. Johnson is going to teach us. I'm going to learn how to do that. Don't let me get a video with me spinning around on the stage. We're going to be doing that. Oh my goodness. It was like just floating. I feel so left out. They didn't do that at your party, Ms. Jones. You didn't have the spinning thing. The spinning thing. We got it. I'm going to a party for the spinning thing. I'm bringing it to my office. We're going to have a spinner. Mr. Johnson, please find out where the spinner is so we can have it at our Afroeconomics function. January 13th and 14th in DC, our Afroeconomics open house at the DC office. Trying to get you back, Ms. Davis. You know where it is now. So our office, 712th Street, Suite 700. Easy to remember. So let's think about, like, so what did the survey say? Survey saying, let me look at some more interesting numbers. I want to share this with you about how much money do you need in order to feel good? Think about that. Like, how much money do you need in order to feel comfortable, to feel rich, like more than comfortable? How much money? Have you ever thought about, like, how much money do you have to make for you to feel like I'm rich? So this is how much annual income would you need to earn to feel rich? And The majority said they have to feel they would have to have if their current income, okay. So if their current income was 100,000 and above, 25% of them said that they have to make between 200 and 499,000 in order to feel rich. And the majority of them said if their income was above the 100,000, the majority said they have to make over $1 million to feel rich. Isn't that something? So the higher the current income, the higher, the more that said they have to have over a million. So the more money that they currently make, the more that they needed in order to feel like they were rich. That's interesting. Look, Miss Person. Look, don't you heard what I said? It's the spinner. It's the spinner. You see what she in there trying to tell me what it's called? Is it called the 360 photo booth, Mr. Johnson? I don't think that's what it's called. Like it's a video. It's a video. Why would it be called the photo? Um it's a video. I'm gonna send you the video, Miss Person. It's a video. You gonna try to get one. I know you want one. You're gonna be spinning the let me show y'all. So the financially comfortable. So and I guess an interesting point was that people don't really everybody's not saying that they have to be a millionaire in order to be comfortable. They said, well, I can be comfortable with less than that. The first question is like to be rich. So they said, well, I got to feel rich. I got to have more than a million. The majority of, and the higher the income, the more. But there's quite a few people who were like, I will feel rich if I make $100,000 if they were currently making less than 50. Isn't that something? See, they're like, I'll double my income, I'll feel rich. That's my rich. See, rich is relative. Wow. And then, so to feel financially comfortable, 31% said if their current income was less than 100,000, 31% said that they would feel financially comfortable if their income was, it has to be from like between 50 and 100 to be comfortable. And then 27% said it has to be above 100,000. And think about, what do you have to make in order for you to feel comfortable? To feel comfortable. Like, how do you, if your current income is what it is, are you comfortable? Like, you could be comfortable right now, like, and if you are, that is beautiful. And that's mostly, is that how? The it's mostly because you are living within your means. Your comfort comes from the decisions that you've decided to make with your finances, really. Right? There you go. I didn't know that. You put your phone in the booth. Wow. And then the spinner, and you get the video. I love it. Learn something every day. We could do that ourselves, Miss Davis. We could call it the ghetto booth, right? We could like get the we could good for you, Queen Howard. And we could be more comfortable. Like they probably charge a lot for that booth, right? So what we could do is get a bike, and then we can put a phone on the bike, and then attach the bike, and then like get somebody to just ride the bike around the person, and then so they wouldn't get tired and they could just ride around the person. But how we get the floor to move? I got to get the floor to move. I think the floor moves. I got to work on that part because the
You
floor
gotta show the video on
and the
Friday.
bike.
In the Friday meeting, you got to show the video.
I'm gonna do the video, but I need my floor to move. I need my floor to move. That's the hard part.
Okay.
Mr. Jones can ride the bike, and then the floor moving. That's the hard. But look, be like, we're like, I know they did not do that. Put the floor on something else that just spins. Mr. Johnson's like, they do sell this, JB. You don't have to do that, but they rent it. They rent it, and then but Miss Person has got it all figured out, and she's gonna get us one. So it says many Americans are still living on less than they're comfortable with. 42% are in households earning less than $50,000 a year. Mm. And that's something less. So the 42% are in households earning less than $50,000 a year, more than double the number who say they'd feel comfortable earning the same, which is 18%. Mm. Many are living on less than they're comfortable with. 18% are earning between 50 and 100,000, while 26% are in households earning 100,000 or more. And
that 42%, but that 42% you just mentioned, how many people are that household roughly, or does it say that?
Oh, I know it didn't, but it's probably they do it based on a 4. I know they do that a lot. 2 parent, 2 kid, but
Okay.
it just said households, but in the paragraph, but there's probably down in the 4, but it didn't say household of 4. But yeah, they make it work. They make it work. But everybody out there listening that's making more than that, and you're single, and you're saying that you can't make it. Think about that. Mm. Almost no one that was surveyed said that they have enough savings to retire right now. Only 7% said that. And said Americans are 6 times as likely to say they are far behind in their retirement. And says that at 42%, 42% say that they're behind on retirement saving. 51% say they're on track to have enough saved to retire when they're ready. Just not ready yet. Mm. So and 26% said they don't have any retirement savings at all. So the next time, oh my goodness, $1,000 for one of those machines. But think about how much money you can make on it. If I could get everybody to want to spend as much as I want to spend. Wow. I could rent that thing out all the time if they could get me out of it. And then you could get your 1,000 back quick. Lawanda, let's do that. We're getting that. The spinners, we take them all around the world. The Johnson spinners. This is a tribute to Mr. Johnson, who inspired us. It says 68% of those who have less than 10,000 saved say they are far behind on their retirement savings and don't think they'll ever be able to retire. Ever. What a negative thought. They need to reach out, right? Really, like, you don't have to retire. What you have to do is stay healthy, stay motivated, stay interested in working, or you better learn how to save a lot. Right? Because you got to, you can't have it both ways. And that happens. They don't want to work but don't want to save, don't want to, don't want to do what you got to do, in order to get what you really want. And we can't go into 2023 with that same attitude. I know that I've spent so many years there because there is nothing to support a passionate person about anything. Anything you're passionate about, we live in a society that says, oh, that's too much. Oh, you got to do this. Oh, you only live once. Oh, you get so stuff. So just know that if you're passionate about, I want to stop working at such and such an age, you better be focused on it, because it's not like everybody is going to be supportive of it. Or even if you say, I want to continue working, you're going to get the same of, you don't need to keep working. Why are you still working? Like, or you have to, whatever it is that's important to you, focus on it. Stop compromising on your dream. You want to spin? Get in the machine and spin. How many times are you going to stand on the side and watch Mr. Johnson spinning around? Get in there and spin. Tell him, my turn. Get it. Like, but if you keep, like, I'll do it next time. I'll do it next time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, that's not important. People look at me funny. I can't do that. Nobody in my family has ever had money. We're supposed to be broke. We're just broke. You have to get out of that. Well, J.B. Bryan said the average person only this, no, that is just numbers. These are just numbers. I expect us to be way past the average anything. The only point I want you to make out of it is that, do you see that what it said about comfortable and the differences between what makes a person feel rich? There were some people who felt rich at $100,000. Some people that felt rich at $50,000. That your goals are your goals. Period. Everything is not supposed to be the same. It's not. Like, it's not supposed to be the same. Everybody is individual. Everything. Like, so, and a lot of times these types of things are presented to us like, see, so you got to catch up. You got to do and so and so. Like, Shoot. No. No, you have to make sure that you're making the best out of the tools that you have. The tools that you have. And once I decided, using myself as an example, that I was going to be an entrepreneur, I had to realize there's very little that I can control. So what I have to control is what I can control. I can control taking care of myself. I can control drinking. I can control eating. I can control sleeping. I can control stress. Well, my response to stress. I can control. I can control taking care of myself so that I can go the marathon. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, we try to make it into a sprint, but it's a marathon because we can't control anything but ourselves. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Control yourself and decide what's the priority for you. And I decided like this is what the priority is for me is to build this business, then that's what you have to do. And you make that commitment that you don't like get caught up in what other people are doing. I've seen like just, really tearful situations, people crying about what other people have or what didn't happen in their life. Well, that it's that's not what this stuff is for. These numbers are just collective information so that we can know what's going on. Like the said, but you have to make a commitment to your personal financial goals. We have to make a commitment. You can't use this as an excuse of shoot, I might as well not even worry about it or I got it made because blah blah blah. No. These things have to be managed actively. You have to have discipline. You can't save it and the you can't save it and spend it too. You can't build it and destruct it and tear it down too. So you have to be, if you're about development, you have to make sure that you're not doing things that sabotage it. Mm. And that happens a lot. Goodness. So no, this was a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I brought that like right up on the screen. That's a little bit better. Look at that. It says the Americans eye real estate to grow wealth, but few invest in it. Last year. It should finish that off. This is based on last year. It says, what do you think is the best way to increase personal wealth? And then they ask, do you think it's invest in real estate or invest in stocks or start your own business or get a second job or negotiate a salary? And 23% said that investing in real estate is the best way to increase personal wealth. But 12% actually did that. The majority took advantage of what came in as number two, investing in the stock market at 16%, and 27% actually did that over the past year. And then the third, what they thought would be a best way to increase personal wealth when surveyed was starting a business. And then 11% did that. But the third actual ranking in what was done was they got a job instead of starting a business. The it's interesting between like what the poll, what the respondents thought they should do versus what they actually did. And then like they and then like they said, well, I think buying real estate would be the best thing to do, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna get some stocks instead. And probably if you base it on this past year, it was interest rates that did that, that really slowed that down because the interest rates went up so high that it just, they were like, well, now the cost of financing, if they didn't have the money, would have cost so much. So they said, well, I have some money, I'll use it to invest in stocks. I don't have to borrow, I don't have to leverage to buy the stocks. Or if they had an existing account, they could have actually done a margin and got the margin based on the value of the existing stocks and bought more stocks. It's easier to margin your brokerage account than it is to get a loan or refinance or something to buy more real estate. So the you would have to look farther on the reasoning behind that, and then also is that what's available through work. That most people are saving through work. What's available through work? Doing the mutual funds, the stock mutual funds through work. I'm sure when they say stock investing, they're including the 401ks and that they could invest in, which would hold stocks in them. So there's definitely easier, a lot easier. Investors are going to do what's easier for them. And then as well that Mr. Johnson is saying here, like scarcity mindset, like what are they might be afraid of going into the debt that is required for that real estate acquisition, or they can't get enough partners involved in it with them. No, you just never, we don't know. That's where the additional research and responses and continue follow-up questions could come into play, right? So getting a second job came in number 3 of what was done this year, as far as no, that was actually number 2, because number 1 was investing in the stock market, 2 was getting a second job, and 3 was negotiating a higher salary, followed by 12% was investing in bonds and CDs, and 12% into real estate. Did real estate. So number 1 over the past year was the stock investing. And I'm shocked because the with the market being down, over the past year, that's a positive indication, but it also is just probably an indication of how many people invest through their plans at work. A lot. So um the it's also like that they did break out some numbers, showing that the majority of our community doesn't invest at all. They had numbers for Black people. Again, I was saying that points out that our that you as AfroEconomics members are statistical anomalies, meaning you stand out. Like this is not what you're doing is not the norm as far as what the numbers say, and that's why it's very important that we do this. It's very important that you not just do what the average person does, that that we continue to look at and not have that scarcity mindset that Mr. Johnson is talking about. And then it says like 58% of Black people, along with 56% of Hispanics, 40% of Asians, don't own real estate or stocks or mutual funds or bonds or exchange traded funds, compared with 33% of whites don't. So we have some continued work there that we're doing like that. The interesting also, it had like that over this past year, that there was an increase in the view of the risk involved in cryptocurrency. So the now 6 out of 10 Americans view crypto as a high risk investment to consider. And then so like versus last year it was 45%. So last year less than half Americans saw it as extremely risky. Amazing. It's the same stuff. Same stuff. Just depends on the headlines. Can the and a lot of that, like it's coming out now, where that young man with FTX, it's showing the millions that he and his company were paying to politicians so that that confidence would stay that way. And it wasn't until everything is falling apart and he just can't keep it together, and now everybody is scattering. But I think they need to show exactly who was getting all that money as politicians, and how they were making sure that the regulation was staying at bay, because they're responsible also for this time that is being taxpayer money that is being spent on this, because this could have been addressed before all of this happened and these people lost their money. That they just got their money and did not care that people were being exposed to all of that unnecessary risk. There's definitely, we cannot, if we're going to look at this as taxpayers, we need our Congress people to actually stop being so disgusting and taking money like this, and protect the taxpayers, and either get this, first of all, closed down and stop this stuff from happening. They shouldn't even be able to take in that kind of money on something that's not regulated. That's millions given to both political parties. Not by accident, not because he supports the American. This is an entity that was doing everything and making money off the downfall of the dollar. And the politicians that we are paying dollars to are taking money from them. And now we're paying for it. We're paying for them to sit there and investigate something that they benefited from. Oh, wow. So that's going to be interesting to see they continue to waste our time and pat themselves on the back and try to blame it on that one little boy. So it's sick. So there are we're going to continue to look at things like this, but only to see what it can do to help us in making better decisions. First of all, that inflation is seen to be the top fear for going forward, and that is always a goal for me to make sure that we're outpacing the cost of living, and it is very, very, very hard now because we're trying to manage our risk, but we're also trying to figure out how to get you positive returns that are outpacing the increase in the cost of things. Mm. So we have to make sure that we are, just realizing that we can only control the things that we can control. And what are the things that we can control? Expenses. So we want to make sure that we keep the expenses in our portfolio as low as possible. That's why my portfolios focus on not having loaded funds. That's why we save. That's how we do it. And then, we focus on, managing, actively managing, and then making sure that what you need to have secure, we have secure. And that we, make sure that we're keeping up with your risk tolerance. You get to a point where it's like you can't take it, that's why we're meeting regularly, so that when you can't stomach, the market, we're making the much needed changes along the way. But just know what's in the stock market is for the long term. And I structured it the way I did for a reason. That's for a reason. So sometimes, some people will think, oh, you're being too conservative, oh, I should have but once you get that, and I have never had a person not thank me for making sure that they protected themselves. No, I mean, 100 times when it comes down to it, everybody is happy to keep what they had versus when, it's like, oh, I think I could have made, 3% more, blah, blah, blah. When it comes down to it, that person is the one who's like, I don't want to lose nothing. So it's, definitely important that we realize that, that this is nothing to be played with when you're talking about your future. That we actually focus on, that what do we need to do in order to make sure you sleep well at night, and we do that. So make sure you contact me. I'll be here through the rest of the year, and I'm focusing on members and clients for the rest of this year, and all of the new everything that is, complimentary calls and things like that. I've put those over to next year. I also want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Jefferson for being our newest members for this year, and we appreciate you and we look forward to it. The For y'all, both of y'all getting in the studio, being in there with Miss Davis and Mr. Jones. I don't know what what Mr. Jones is. Where are you, Mr. Jones? He got scared. He got scared. But yes, Mr. Jefferson, we look forward to it. I appreciate you and your wife, and we're going to build good things together. And we're all going to learn how to be spinners and be spinning around on that floor. We're going to be the greatest. Thank you so much, Wanda, for explaining to me how it works. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson, for showing me and making that video on the spinner so I would know a whole new world, whole new world, dancing opportunities, career opportunities. And Queen Howard, you are always a blessing. I'm glad that you are comfortable with your life, living your best life. She said, I am comfortable. Thank you, New Black World Order. I look forward to us doing those workshops. So we said that we're going to take entrepreneurship to our communities and introduce every community, especially our community and underserved community and our marginalized community. I want to introduce you to entrepreneurship and let you know that I believe that everybody has a gift and everybody has a purpose. And I believe that everybody can be an entrepreneur, and that we can, but we just have everyone teach one. And, that's my life. That God didn't put me here to just be here and die. We're not put here to just make money and then die. But we want to leave other trees of us, right? Drop seeds all over, so that so that the whole world will be better having been here. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. That AfroEconomics, is everywhere. The presence of it, is touched because I started this, especially my emphasis on, our entrepreneur program, the seventh principle of Afroeconomics, because when I started my firm, I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I think that as entrepreneurs, we spend too much time talking to government employees that don't know anything about entrepreneurship. Often they have had businesses and failed. We need to be talking to people in business who love business and are successful. And they don't put you with me, they don't put me in front of you. And if they're out there listening, they're not saying nothing. And they're not bringing me in. So I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. Because if people wanted to make a difference and get people off government assistance, they would be doing something about it. They would be giving us, information, empowerment, training, opportunities. Things would be a lot different. So it has to be that it doesn't matter, or there's too many people who depend on you being less than you can be. Or it's kind of like medicine. Like if we all got healthy, pharmaceutical companies will go out of business. So they benefit from us being our sickly self. All of us get sick, all of us get well. What are they going to do? So if all of us are no longer broke, what are the people that focus on us being broke do? Don't go to people that benefit from your brokenness for healing. You want to get a come up, go spend time with people who benefit from your come up. The better you do, the better I do. You can't lose. So let's go out there, stay positive, and be conscious. No, it's real. It's real. So let me know what I can help. You all right, Miss Davis? You okay?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know that microphone tripping, but I appreciate you. God bless you. Love you.
All right. Let me do
You're the best. Yes,
it.
indeed. Stay strong.
Okay.
I
Good night, all.
got you. See you Friday, everybody. Spin. Keep spinning. Keep spinning. Bye bye. Can you hear my music? Can you hear
Don't
music?
know.
Can you hear music?
Yeah.
Can you hear music? You can't hear music. I'm gonna try to get my
Yeah.
music. My system went down, so the music probably went out too. Thank you, Queen Howard. You can't hear it, Cheryl. Okay, I'm gonna try. I forgot what that button was last time. I forgot what. Uh, let's see. Did that work? So no. Woo! Trying to find my audio. No. I forgot what it was. No music? Can you hear music? Good night. Good night. Have a good one. I'll figure it out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night.